I'm very obsessive. If I like something, then I become possessed by it. I hate contemporary dance when it's exclusive. For me, I would rather be inclusive than exclusive. I want to be universal. I want my story to be touched by people who would rather watch football. We're in Seville. It's kind of like the birthplace of flamenco, one of the birthplaces of flamenco, let's say. We're beginning a duet that I'm creating with Israel Galvan, who's this incredible flamenco artist. We haven't even begun creation. It's on C. If it's C-R-E-A-T-I-O-N, creation, C-R-E-A-T-I-O-N, then it's on C right now. We're seeing what is possible. Everything is just exploration right now. The only commitment that we have is towards each other, that we want to make something together. How regular is my routine? As regular as the sun comes up every morning. It couldn't be more regular than that. It's probably more regular than the sun coming up. Maybe the sun decides not to come up one day, but my training doesn't stop. Unfortunately. It's like that first form of communication. When you wake up in the morning, why does one say good morning? The first desire of human being is to connect with another human being. For me, the first desire is to connect with my body. And the only way I can communicate with my body is by doing what I do. I wake up, my body wakes up, we're in connection, and then we continue with what we do. I think the job of an artist in society is not to think that making art is a job. If you do, then it kind of limits it. I don't know, for me, personally, I'm affected by society because I'm in society. The job of an artist in society, it's like putting a mirror to the audience, but the mirror is distorted. Or maybe it's super clear, depending on what you want to say about the society you live in, the world you live in. And I think that's kind of the role of the artist, just to put a mirror in front of the audience, yeah. There was a period in my life when I was young. That means I'm old now. In my teens, my father built this garage, just a studio with plywood, and I just didn't enjoy college or school. I just thought, I'm gonna secretly practice my dance. And so every morning, I would, wearing my uniform, I'd say, bye mum, bye dad. I would go around the back, there was an alleyway, I would go down there, climb up over my fence, back into my garden, my parents' garden, open the garage door, and then stay there for about 8 to 9 hours until school time ended. And then I would climb over and come back in my school uniform as if I'd been to school. My father would be waiting for me, and, you know. And I was basically training in Indian classical dance, Kathak, for a year. The best part of my day is putting the belts on and taking them off. It's like putting weights on your feet when you jog. Except these are not meant for weights. They're meant for sound. They're an instrument. These bells are old, as old as I am, almost. They sound heavy and lethargic, and they're a bit deeper in bass, the sound of them, you know. But this is for practice, so it's fine. I'm in Seville, in Spain. I hate places. The only place I like is home. It's just because I don't feel free, because I'm never really a tourist, because when I'm going somewhere, I'm there to work. So I've got this whole baggage on my bloody shoulder. If I'm on holiday, that's another thing. But then again, I'm never on holiday, so I've never been a tourist. I'm a grumpy old git. Just here on the right. There we are. Here we are. Just stop here. Yeah. Really what he does is he messes up, contaminates, distorts flamenco. But by doing that, he's creating something new.
Este no lo tengo claro. Sí, ¿no?
Yes.
Ta, a tiempo. Ta, ta, ta. A tiempo. Pa, 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 po, po, po.
For me, it was very organic. In the sense that I didn't even think about it. I wasn't even aware of it. My body was just doing it. Because I was studying two different dance forms, Western and Eastern. And with him, I think it was, I may be wrong, but I feel it's a very conscious decision because he grew up in a family that is very kind of orthodox flamenco, if there's such a thing.
Sí, yo nací aquí en Sevilla y nací dentro de una familia flamenca y no, mi madre estaba embarazada de 7 meses y bailaba. Yo creo que tengo poco pelo porque mi madre sufría el feto, era yo, y no, mi padre me obligaba a bailar. Y yo no sé si hubiera nacido en una familia no flamenca, si hubiera bailado.
Ta, 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 ta. Yeah, three is fine. Taga, 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 ta, taga, taga, ta, taga, taga, ta. Nice.
El flamenco es un baile que como no te dejes un poquito de vida en cada baile, en cada momento que baila, digamos que no transmite, ¿no? Pero luego necesita, digamos, en el flamenco se le llama aire para transmitir.
So this is Jose Agudo. He's the rehearsal director. He's worked with me a lot on many projects, and he knows flamenco and Kathak, he's learning, and contemporary. He speaks Spanish as well, so that's really useful. He speaks bad Spanish, but no, I'm joking. He's Spanish, actually. And very good English.
So here. So here, flick,
kick,
flick.
kip.
Yeah. I'm excited by Israel's way of moving, and him as an artist, I think is extraordinary.
Right, left, right, left.
Derecha, izquierda, derecha, izquierda.
Derecha, izquierda, izquierda, derecha.
Derecha, izquierda, otra vez. That's it.
And it's very challenging. You know, the first thing he said to me, he apologized, which is really contradictory. He apologized because he's going to stab me. And I didn't quite understand him because we don't, you know, he speaks Spanish, I speak English, and the translator was trying to translate, so I didn't quite get it. And I was like, he wants to stab me. He goes, yes, when I dance, I'm like a bull. I want to pierce my victim. And I think what he meant was, you know, as a flamenco dancer, you're trained to be like a warrior. You're trained to have this kind of masculine energy, which is like a bull, and you're ready to charge at anybody. First of all, anybody on stage who's taken up your space, and second of all, the audience. If you could, flamenco dancers would charge into the audience. And that's the aesthetic. That's the kind of culture you're brought up in. And there's something very powerful about it, and also, you know, magnetic. You're always watching these people who are completely possessed. And he said, because, you know, when he saw me perform, he said, you are more kind of, you know, spiritual Hare Krishna type, you know? And I thought, you know what would be interesting is if I became the bull and you became the Hare Krishna. I don't know why I'm saying Hare Krishna. The more spiritual. That contrast might be interesting. No, it's good. This is Shiva, the fork. You know the fork? Shiva.
Esto es el tenedor y esto es Shiva, la diosa Shiva.
He holds the fork, so it's...
Sí, él coge el tenedor.
Collaboration, why is that important? I suppose it's important because it's a form of communication. I mean, yes, you can communicate with yourself, but I feel I learn a lot more, equally as much, by collaborating with other artists, other visions, other ways of interpreting things, you know.
So this half is strong, chest up, and this side, this is soft.
And I think that's really valuable to me in my own experience because it kind of makes you reflect upon what you do. You know, I love to work with visual artists particularly and composers because you know, even if we're telling the same story, we're saying it through different languages.
No time to lose. I followed him walking out of the theater, climbing up the stairs, opening the doors. I was there right with him. My knee didn't care for consequences.
Previous collaborations, like working with Juliette Binoche on a theatre dance piece, or Sylvie Guillem on a dance theatre piece, but mostly dance. And I feel Dish, my solo, working with Tim Yip, Ruth Little, and Jocelyn Pook, you know, that also, Michael Hulls, that was really a very important moment for me, and that's when I really feel it's really worth taking the risk to collaborate with other people. I think there's a stigma to contemporary dance. I remember